Well, hello there. My name is Petey, and today I'm here to talk about, well, actually this is a review for the Smokenmist Ego Starter Kit. If you are an experienced vapor, you may be familiar with Smokenmist through their Sample Box service. Sample Box is a monthly subscription where you get to try a variety of e-liquids shipped to your door every month. So it's a convenient, fun service that lots of vapors enjoy. Now, today this is actually a review for this Ego Starter Pack, but I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience quitting smoking, what vaping has done for me, and also about the Smokenmist company. So first off, Smokenmist has been around. They are vaping enthusiasts. This is a United States corporation based out of Tempe, Arizona. The owner of the company, it was an ex-smoker, and he really wanted to quit, and he was having a hard time with that until he chose vaping and e-cigarettes. So he ended up, basically saved his life, which that's what e-cigarettes and vaping have done for quite a few folks who've had a very difficult time attempting to quit smoking, utilizing other methods, the patch, nicotine gum, prescription drugs, things like Chantix, things like that. And me personally, I have been down that road. I've always found myself able to quit, going through an extremely discomforting period that typically lasted a month and a half. And then, I would be off the cigarettes for, let's say, 3 months. I made it a little longer a few times, but inevitably I always found myself going back to smoking cigarettes. And the reason is that I just felt like something was missing, and hanging around with folks that were smokers. I'm a musician, just being out in the world, especially the fact that it seemed like all of my friends smoked cigarettes. There was like that one drummer, didn't smoke, and he actually vapes a bit from time to time.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm getting sidetracked, but the point is that I can confidently sit here today and say that I'm done with cigarettes because of my love for vaping, and that isn't. It isn't like some weird thing. It's just that vaping tastes really good, and the positive side effects. I really don't miss any aspects of smoking. I really don't. Vaping is so much better than smoking cigarettes. So if you're here thinking about quitting smoking, I really want to encourage you to give vaping a shot. But keep in mind, like for me, at the first time that I experienced an electronic cigarette was we had concert tickets. My daughter purchased us tickets to see Paul McCartney. He plays for 3 hours, and so I purchased a Blue brand electronic cigarette, which that was enough to keep the nicotine demons at bay to the point where I was able to enjoy the show, although I felt like, I'll put it this way, that first drag off a cigarette when I got after the concert out to the car, hang on to your hats, folks. Now, I had received some coupons for a Marlboro Mark 10, which this is, it's Altria is the name of the company, but they're actually Philip Morris, and this is a Mark 10 cigarette. So I had received a bunch of coupons for these. You can see it does produce a bit of vapor. The problems that I found with the e-cig was they just didn't feed the bulldog. I was a heavy smoker. These things did not work for me at all. You constantly recharge. The battery is tiny. There's literally 50 pulls maybe, and you have to recharge it. I did have 2 of these, and I was constantly charging one while I would use the other, and I found that wasn't even enough. There were times when I would need to charge both of them and cease utilizing the device. The main problem with these is that they don't produce enough vapor, and that the vapor that they do produce, it doesn't taste good. I found myself 12 hours into the experience of attempting to quit utilizing this device in the throes of agony of nicotine withdrawal, and flipping out and saying, "Give me a cigarette," which was not good. I had worked myself up to, I was smoking a lot, and I tried to quit, wasn't really cold turkey. I mean, I was using these, and I mean, I went and I found a YouTube video where a guy showed you how you remove the end cap and you pour e-liquid into this. I tried messing around with that for a couple of days. The e-liquid was pouring back into my mouth, giving me heartburn. I was getting nauseous. And what I found was even, misusing this device and adding additional, very powerful, I was using 24 milligram nicotine to try to compensate. But the issue is they just don't produce enough vapor to be effective. So I found in my personal experience, and as a vapor now, I've been vaping for a while, and what I have come to find to be reality is most smokers, this is not enough. Which brings me to the product review we have today. This is the Ego Twist Blister Pack, brought to you by Smokenmist out of Tempe, Arizona. Now, Ego is typically associated with a company called Joytech. That's the manufacturer. And I put the Smokenmist website link, that's in blue down in the description. So if you want to take a look or follow along, I'm going to be reading the description from the Smokenmist website.
The Ego C twist is not OEM Joytech. It is manufactured to the same specification, and we offer it at a discount to our customers. The Ego C twist battery is an advancement of the Ego C original battery. We modified the circuit to enable the adjustment of the output voltage from 3.2 to 4.8 volts.
With a smart buck boost converter inside, you can spin the knob at the bottom to adjust the output voltage,
depending on your needs.
This is a large battery with much more powerful than conventional batteries. It lets you enjoy the electronic cigarette for a longer time. There are 8 notches on the knob at the bottom, and each represents 0.2 volts. Spin the knob in a clockwise direction to increase the output voltage. Spin it in an anti-clockwise to decrease the output voltage. Higher output voltage gives you more control for higher ohm atomizers. You can adjust the output voltage easily to customize the flavor output from the atomizer. And the battery also has the previous lock-unlock function for safety that prevents accidental firing, like if you're carrying it in your pocket or storing it overnight when not in use. You quickly press the operation switch 5 times within 1.5 seconds, and it will turn the unit on or off, which is a great safety feature to have. The Ce5 Atomizer is a big upgrade from the Ce4. We chose to only offer the Ce5 because, frankly, it works. Other atomizers can give a burnt taste, stop vaporizing the e-liquid, and they're an overall hassle. The Ce5 has no replaceable parts except the tip, and as such, it gives very good performance. Please note, atomizers are disposable items, and they should be replaced every so often if you notice performance decreasing drastically. Now, that first hell week when I was messing around with the Mark 10, I realized that I needed something and I was in trouble, and I was trying to save a buck. I ordered some stuff off of eBay. I ordered some stuff from overseas, which I ended up really regretting. There is a time limit on the return policy for PayPal and eBay, so every time I had a problem, I found these sellers stalling, sending the same reply over and over, trying to get to that, past that 30-day mark so they wouldn't have to cover it. I dealt with, I swear, I've got 4 dud batteries here that went bad. I've got some, I don't have them, I've got maybe the shell of one that I took apart and kept the shell, because when these things fail, there can be an issue of them venting, creating a hot, like a fire, an explosion. So I wish I would have done a little bit more research, because I ended up feeling like a real idiot reading that these X6 batteries that I had purchased from overseas from these irreputable suppliers, trying to save money. And you know what, I'll tell you, having to pay the exorbitant shipping fees to get the stuff over here, running the risk of the package being confiscated by customs, which it happens. The point is, I realized after this quit date, messing around for a week and smoking every night after midnight, the further I moved away from that initial date, which was the 7th of January, the greater my chances of failure were. That I really needed to do something, and I needed to do something now. So if I would have had that time machine, I would go back and I would be looking around for a company in the United States, a company that has a good customer support policy, and just a bit more on this Smokenmist company. I think I have 7 bottles of e-liquid here that I can't vape. I read the reviews, I read the description, and it sounded like, that's something I would really enjoy. And then I got it and I vaped it, and it was, horrible, unvapable. And typically, none of the other companies that I've seen, you know, if you buy something and you don't like it, you're stuck with it. Well, with Smokenmist, you mail it back to them and they ship you a replacement of your choice. So hats off to this company. They get it and they're on the side of the consumer. So taking a look at the actual contents, we have the 1100 mAh battery. When I got my stuff, you know, I had the lower capacity. I think this is a 650, maybe an 850. And these worked for me. I was using a CE4. This comes with a CE5. Here's our atomizer. You unscrew the drip tip and add the e-liquid in here. It has graduated meters, 1.6 mil capacity. So you fill it up to that top line and then go ahead and screw the drip tip back on. And a nice little thing that they threw in is there's the silicone cap. I find I can't vape without those. I don't like having the hard plastic or hard metal drip tip on my teeth, you know, accidentally bumping that. So I really like that. Hats off for them including the silicone cap, because I find that to be a little bit more pleasurable and sanitary as well. The unit does come with a USB style port charger. This is your standard Ego charger. How I like to operate these, it has 510 threading. That's where it screws together, and that's compatible with basically everything is 510 thread these days. So you screw the threads on there. You go ahead and plug this into your USB port, and it typically will come on flash 5 times red and then constant red to let you know the battery is in need of a charging. When it reaches its capacity, it switches over to a 5 pulse green. Will pulse 5 or 10 times maybe green, and then solid consistent green, letting you know it's okay to go ahead and unplug from your USB port and then disconnect. And typically, anytime I am connecting or disconnecting a battery to a charger, I like to do that when the charging unit has been unplugged, because typically you will have power going to the device, and I like to have it all connected and ready to go when I'm plugging or unplugging. I just think of that. And that's probably just a weird quirk with me. These are genuinely robust little units. They get a little bit warm. They don't get hot. You never smell anything funky. These are safe. Basically an industry standard, what I would call this Ego style charger. They're input DC 5 volts, 500 milliamps, which is a half an amp input, and that's what your USB and your computer will be rated for. The output is 4.2 volts, 420 milliamp. And like I said, these are pretty much, this is it. This is what folks are using. The battery has the adjuster on it. This is a lot nicer than what I started with. And I do need to mention this. That week when I was messing around with these and I ended up finally getting my stuff, when I got something that did work, I got an Ego, I think it was an 850 milliamp, maybe a 900 milliamp Ego battery, did not have the adjuster, and I got a CE4, a little bit inferior to the CE5, which ships with the Smokenmist kit. That was the day. That was the day before was the last day when I ever smoked. When I got this, that was it. I was done. I didn't need to smoke anymore. It was a great feeling. I can't tell you how I'm going to be able to do this. Hallelujah, I am so proud of myself. Proud of myself for doing something I should have done years ago. So, yeah, that was all it took for me. And I guess I will go ahead and I'm going to put some e-liquid in this and we're going to give it a test drive. So I have went ahead and assembled the unit, and I'm actually using Smokenmist Raspberry Lemonade. This is my current love affair, I kind of go through phases. It'll be like a week or two I'll have this new, folks call it an ADV, an all-day vape. Well, this is 3 milligram nicotine. I initially started out at a 24 and worked my way down fairly quickly down to a 3 milligram, and that's what I find works perfectly for me. Looking at the back of the blister pack, there are some additional safety features that I wanted to mention. This has atomizer protection / cutoff timer. If the button is depressed for more than 10 seconds, the unit will automatically shut itself off. So that means that if you get a little carried away, you're vaping crackhead style, where you're like, you know, and you hold it down for more than 10 seconds, the unit will start blinking, and it'll let you know, hey buddy, you know, take her easy. You've had enough of that now. Why anyone would vape for more than 10 seconds. I typically run you know, probably 3 to 6 seconds depending on the device and the output of the device. I'm not a cloud chaser, cloud chucker, competitive, or sport vapor. I am more of a maintenance guy. Like, I just maintain my nicotine intake. I've reduced that. I don't vape all day. I vape occasionally, and then as the night goes on, depending on level of enjoyment or stress, I may vape a little more on some days and some nights. But typically, I'm what they would call a flavor chaser, because I'm geared towards enjoying this for the flavor, not for you know, chucking huge clouds or doing an impersonation of a steam locomotive, which is fine. Anything that keeps us away from big tobacco and smoking, those harmful, stinky, expensive analog cigarettes. That's really the point. So I have went ahead. What you do is you basically, I suppose I could add a little bit more here. You unscrew the drip tip, and then here is Smokenmist Raspberry Lemonade. This is a 3 milligram nicotine, as I mentioned. It is a child safety cap bottle, so I squeeze it a little bit. And then there's a little, it's like a needle type nozzle. I went ahead and topped it off a little bit. I have charged this battery. It did take a while to charge. On that initial charge, they oftentimes these batteries are shipped empty, so the first charge can take a little longer than additional charging. But the other safety feature that I didn't mention is under voltage protection. When these get really low, think about it as if you ran your car out of gas and then you went and put more gas in, and well, it didn't want to start because you blew your fuel pump. Something in essence of that. All of these are typically lithium ion type battery, and a feature of that battery is when it gets real low, it doesn't like being put under a load. So there is an under voltage protection circuit built into this. There is the atomizer protection cutoff circuit. You have safety feature letting you know by the LED going from red to green that it's time to disconnect the battery. So pretty much all of the safety features in existence for this technology have been implemented into these devices, which is really cool. You know, let's vape safe. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the Ego C twist with the Ce5 from Smokenmist, utilizing the Smokenmist. I believe this is about 50-50. Maybe it's 70-30 PG, I think. Wow. Holy cow. That's, I mean, forgive me, I was not expecting that out of this Ce5. I have to admit, when I used my Ce5, I had one Ce5 that I got, and I was using it with a lower capacity, non-adjustable voltage Ego battery. I think I had a 900 maybe, and they just didn't perform that well. I mean, it was enough to get me to quit smoking. You know, I was using 24 milligram e-liquid, so it was a lot of nicotine in there, so I necessarily didn't need an incredible amount of vapor production. But as I grow in vaping and I've reduced my amount of nicotine, and I'm shooting to get to 0 by next year. In this spring, I'm going to vape with nicotine for about a year, and then I'm planning on getting down to 0 and then taking it from there. So I found my habits changing a little bit over periods of times. Now I have this set, this is turned all the way down on the voltage. As it is a brand new atomizer, and this is a fully charged cell, I'm a little bit leery about turning it up so much. I'll turn it up to 3.6 volts. It was at 3.2. So let's turn it up to 3.6 and give it a vape. Still going good, 3.6. It's not dry or burnt. Do I want to turn it up to 4 volts? I kid. wow, it's getting a little bit warmer, but I'm not tasting anything burnt. Okay, I've got it all the way up. A little nervous. Yeah, a little hot. I'm going to turn that back down to about 3.6. Typically that's how I run these. I'll start off at the bottom and then maybe see how far I can push it, and then, you know, go back to the bottom, bump it up a little bit, and then I'll play around in there as the night goes and see, you know, how the atomizer responds to the various voltages that it'll take. But you know, you don't necessarily want to push things and get carried away and be burning the e-liquid, or, you know, creating an unpleasant sensation for the back of your throat. Man, that's it. The flavor production is surprisingly good for this CE5. Typically, as you advance in vaping and you get more and more complicated devices, you can go different ways for vapor production, for big clouds, or to enhance the flavor. Well, this is very, I don't want to say it's sufficient. It's surprisingly good for flavor production for what the unit is. So overall, I have to say, I wish I would have had something like this when I quit. This is an excellent value. I believe they are around $30 for this device. It's a $29.50. If you're going to be quitting smoking and you're considering vaping, you may want to bypass this step with the E-cigs, especially the Mark 10. Now, I know that the blue is a little bit better on vapor production. There may be a little bit better alternatives. The Enjoy King, I think, is something I've heard is supposedly the best one as far as these. And, you know, if you're one of these people that you smoke 3 cigarettes a day, maybe something like that would be more than enough for you. What I found is that it was a joke. It was, I mean, I really did want this to work because I had a bunch of coupons, and for some reason I was intimidated. I knew about this stuff, but I was just intimidated by it. And I finally gave in to my doctor. My doctor had been the one that had been twisting my arm to give vaping a shot to get me off the cigarettes. And thank you so much. I'll just call her Petra. Thank you very much, Petra, for twisting my arm, because I am thrilled to be a vapor, and I'm really excited about working with Smokenmist. Thank you very much for giving me a shot. This is a huge thumbs up on this product here, and massive thumbs up on your e-liquid. I really like everything about this company. Their pricing, their flexibility, how much stuff they have to offer, their customer service, the fact that they're in the United States. So I am thrilled to be representing Smokenmist. But my honest opinion of this is an excellent little device. 1100 milliamp adjustable voltage, coming with the CE5, and certainly this excellent adjustable voltage 1100 mAh battery will be coming in handy in the future. So thanks so much to Aaron. You guys, if you're out there and you're thinking about quitting smoking again, give vaping a shot. You're going to be able to do it. I'm telling you from the heart, I am never going to smoke again, and I love vaping. Why? Because it's just so much better than smoking. So thank you very much, and
peace.